Welcome to Introduction to Java Programming. Previously, we discussed about class and object. Today is the second part of the object versus classes series. So, in previously, we looked at the example of classes and aeroplane, like the economy class, business class, and first class. So, these are three different classes, and based on the three different classes, we create seats. We have different seats. So for each class we need a blueprint. Class itself is a blueprint or a template which tells us how to create an object here, the chair, the seat. Then we look at three blueprint, like first blueprint for first class, another for business class, and another for economy class. From these blueprints, which are classes, we create objects which are physical thing, which are created in the memory. So this object is created from the first class. This occupies space, and this can hold some value, some information, or a passenger in this specific case. So why we need classes? Why? Because we need to store the information. Why can't we use a simple variable like the basic types, integer, long, float, double character, byte, or array of bytes? So here we can see we have stored information of two employee in multiple variables, like emp number for employee number, this is for one employee, and emp number 2, this is for another employee, age and age 2, salary 2, and all these variables. You can see here I have created multiple variables, and it depends on the name, it depends how we create these variables. So I might lose uh, the context, which variable whose manager to, was it Scott or was it Adkin? And just assume that if there are more than 20 fields, more than 20 attributes, or more than 20 states for a single employee, it will become really hard, and we have to go up and down in order to understand which are the information, which are the variables that belong together or belong to similar employee. So what about if there are 25 employees, and if we want to have five attributes, five fields, or five states? They all are same thing. So that means we have to create 125 field like this. So this is 1, this is 2, this is 3, 4, and 5. So for 25 employee we have to create 125 fields, and for 100 employee we have to create 500 fields. It's difficult to manage. What if we start missing fields? Like maybe for first employee I create five variables, for the second as well, and I might lose the reference and I might create only three variables. Or what if I want to create one more variable? So in case of 500 employee I have to create 500 more variables. So for that it's best we group together the relevant information. So whatever information is related to employee, let's create a boundary or encapsulate it. So the class consists of combination of different values that that are grouped together because they represent the same context, like age of the employee, name of the employee, salary of the employee, is he manager or not. So we classify this information. So one class could be human classification, animal classification, or the birds classification, or any type of classification. So class or grouping or types are basically the same thing. So let's create employee class. So don't worry if you do not understand the syntax. We are not learning the syntax. We are just learning the concept of class and object. So I will create here a new class, employee. So here is the employee class, which contain all these attributes, or we can call them fields, or we can call them state. So this is a state of the object. That would be the state of the object. it will have different values. And we'll create a new class. So employee usage, so we want to use the employee. We'll create main method. And now so here we have created an employee object. So when we write new and the class name, so this will create a memory object. This will create an object in the memory and assign the reference to E1 so that you can access that memory location with the help of this reference, this variable. Okay, so this variable is actually a reference which is referring to new employee object which were created in the memory. So here we assign the value in the name, in the age, and here we can create another employee and we can set its properties or its fields or its attributes. Okay, so it should be E2. Now it's really easy. If I have to set anything for Adkins, so whatever I set to E2 will be part of this employee. So I can set here 37 and similarly I can populate as many fields as I want. So now let's assume that our employee changes, like its state is changed. It need to have another variable, another information which is next of kin. So it would be really easy to just create here the yeah, so it's already there, next of kin. So we can populate this. We can populate as many fields we want here, and that will be classified as an employee. So now E1, this reference variable is not just one information, but it is a group of information, which if we go here to employee, this is the information that is represented by this one E1. So E1 is that group. It is actually a variable. It is an object of type employee. Okay. So if you're still confused, like sometime you say object, sometime you say class, so let me explain you with an example. Scott is a security officer at the airport. Scott noticed an unattended bag. He approached the bag. Suddenly, a lady approached from a corner and explained, "Officer, this is my bag." His manager passing by asked, "Scott, is everything all right?" Scott said, "Yes, it's all right." The lady said, "Thank you, officer, for taking care of my bag." So here in this example, Scott and officer are both similar, represent the same thing, because Scott is an officer. Officer could be a class, Scott could be one object. So an officer could be a general classification. Scott, Adkins, and all these people are the objects. So if we say Scott, if we say officer, this is one and same thing. So here we are referring it with the object, here we are referring with the class, here again with the object, here again with the class. So if I say that this human is playing, or I say John is playing, this is one and same thing. So we generally interchangeably use these name, which means the similar thing. But in the technical term, class is the blueprint, object is the physical actually. So um, human cannot be just human, it has to be an object. So a person, a name, an individual person. A human cannot exist without an individual person, right? So it should be Scott, John, Adams, or Halima Sultan. So Honda is a car. Create a car, here it means that create an object of car class. Print a car means print the object of type car. What is type? So type is the data type. It could be primitive or class or enum. Type is basically the class. It's the classification. Human is a type, animal is a type. So type and class is one and same thing. Classification as human and animal. So classification is again one and same thing. So we can use sometimes it's type or data type or class name. So it's one and same thing. Why class is needed? So it helps in creating object from it. It guides to create an object. So it will guide us like what attribute we can have. So if we look at here, it is guiding, it is first guiding the compiler or the runtime of the program to create this object, and what attribute it will have in the memory is explained if we go here in this class. Okay, and here it guides not only the runtime or the JVM, it also help us like what could be different attributes of this class. So I can use age, name, employee number is equal to 101. What if I want to set the father name? It doesn't allow me because uh, here we define what this group is consist of, what are the attributes of employee or what employee classifications tells us. So this is defined here, so we cannot invent something on our own. So we cannot here type father name. So you don't have to remember what fields are there, you just type here and you will know what are different attributes you can set or what are different states you can set. So for age, or sorry, for we can set 102 or maybe 1012. It could be anything, right? And we can create as many objects we want. So here we have created two objects, e1, e2. So I hope this is clear, and don't worry about the syntax. I'm just explaining how we are grouping information, why classes are needed. So this is one aspect, like we can store information and we group relevant information together like name, roll number, class name, teacher name. This could be a first student class, and perform relevant function. So here previously I explained this example, like there are different attributes of animal class, name, age, color, and there are two behaviors or function. Behavior is some action that object can perform like speak, like walk, and when it performs some function or behavior or methods like this one, it can access values of its attribute. Like name is speaking, so if we print dog dot speak, so the name is Ben, so it will print Ben is speaking. So here is the class, and here we are using a program to run this code. And here we created first object, which is dog. So animal is nothing. Animal is a classification. Dog is actual physical object or a physical animal. So we set here attribute, its name, its age, color, and here we call its function. So it also a class not only provide the attributes, but it provide the action it can perform or to manipulate data. Don't worry about the syntax, just understand that what is the difference between class and object and what is the purpose. That's it, you only need to know this, because in upcoming exercises we will be using different utility classes which will help us perform different functions, different methods, different conversion, etc. That's it for today. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe and share with your friends on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, or whatever medium you are using. Please ask any question you want. If you have any confusion, in the comment below. Also tell us how did you like this lecture and what improvement you think that we can incorporate. Thank you. Take care. Bye.